YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. With the water warming up and fishing activity increasing at area state parks, local outdoor officials are asking for help in maintaining the cleanliness of public spaces. Department of Natural Resources Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman says while the state works hard to provide trash receptacles, they can fill up quickly, and the burden of keeping these areas beautiful falls on the visitors.
You know, we'll do a detail once or twice a summer to kind of try to catch the people that are taking their that are just leaving their garbage. As simple as that. Whatever you take in, take more out, or at least just take in what you took out. I ask people, you know, be prepared, bring a garbage bag. I mean, they provide, the state on those public lands provide trash cans. And even if it's full, because sometimes like the spillway is a very popular fishing spot, especially when the water's up. They'll those trash cans get full real quick. Man, just leave the bag. I know the critters may get into it, but the park staff is really good about going and trying and keeping that area clean. Leave your bag next to the garbage can, stuff it in there if you can. But keep that, the banks of like the spillways, the one I use as an example. And I noticed the DeWitt Bridge the other day. We opened up east of DeWitt Bridge, and I noticed, you know, bags already hanging from trees. Like you've done your due diligence to keep your litter contained, but then you just failed to take it with you. You left it hanging on a tree, and it's like, come on.
Workman frequently encounters individuals disposing of cigarette butts directly into the water, which he describes as a particularly inconsiderate action at popular fishing spots.
You know, the state really good about keeping trash cans out for everybody, and that's they provide the receptacles. Please use them. Like on the details that we do. I mean, I have, absolutely. If I'm sitting there watching somebody fish, and then they just, another one that really kind of grinds my gears, and it's funny because it didn't really bother me until CPO Awesomeness got me on it. But flicking cigarettes into the lake. That is one that I don't know. I watched him address it one time, and I was like, never thought of that. And I'm like, yeah, that is absolutely stupid. Don't flick your cigarette into the lake and sit there and watch people fish. And if they're smoking, just watch them flick their cigarette butts in the lake. And I'll go down and write a ticket for it.
As the calendar turns toward May and the start of the boating season, Workman also reminds the public that now is the time to ensure all gear, including safety equipment and vessel registrations, is up to date ahead of the Memorial Day weekend.
Well, we're tapping in next month. We'll go over boat safety, but I've noticed a lot of boats coming out already. Not so much recreational boats, but a lot of fishing boats. But check your boats. Make sure you've got all your safety equipment. We'll kind of dive into that really deep next week or next month with Memorial Day tapping on the front door. But yeah, make sure you've got fire extinguishers. Your registration's up to date. You know, those are an every 3-year thing, so it could easily slip your mind. So double check your registration.
Just a few years ago, outdoor officials threatened to close local sites because trash buildup had become so ubiquitous. Officer Workman's hopes it doesn't come to that this summer. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, May outlooks showing cooler than normal month. As the spring planting season picks up across central Illinois, local authorities are reminding residents to keep their eyes on the road and their hands off their phones. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang says with more tractors and combines moving between fields, motorists need to exercise extreme patience and maintain a high level of awareness.
Allowing more time the farmers out there, these are huge pieces of equipment that are extremely high dollar pieces of equipment. They are very, very limited on the road space. Obviously, they take up quite a bit of that road. So, giving them a little extra space, slowing down, and then when you do have the opportunity to pass, again, just make sure that you're extremely careful and, making sure that nobody else is coming at you. Obviously, excuse me, sorry, the radio's going off. Making sure that you're not going to cause an accident when you pass, that there's no blind spots.
One of the biggest hazards during this time of year is the significant speed difference between passenger vehicles and farm implements. Sheriff Vogelzang notes farm equipment often travels at 25 miles per hour or less on many rural roads, and which feature soft shoulders that make it difficult for large machinery to pull over safely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most of the roads are, you've got the curves, the corners that maybe you don't see an oncoming car. You're trying to get out a little bit to see if there's anything coming, because the equipment is so large, and it does obscure your views as you're trying to get by them. So, just make sure that when you are passing that that you've confirmed that there's no oncoming cars and or blind spots.
You guys do much in the way of in the way of seeing like accidents spike in certain parts of the county at all, or they're like treacherous spots where you guys kind of see more accidents than not?
Actually, we've been pretty lucky in the last several years. I think for the most part, just getting the word out like we are today, people are giving them some extra room and slowing down, and the number of crashes involving farm implements hasn't been that high.
The call for safety comes during National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Sheriff Vogelzang emphasizes even a split-second distraction, such as checking a text or adjusting a GPS, can be catastrophic on a narrow rural road when approaching a wide-load tractor.
I mean, I think we all know that all it takes is a second to take your eyes off that road, how fast things can happen. Looking down at your phone, things just happen way, way too quick. So put your phone away. There's actually those features now where your phone detects if you're driving, and can send an automatic text alert that, hey, I'm driving and I'll call you once I arrive at my destination.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving claimed over 3,200 lives nationally in 2024. In Illinois alone, insurance data indicates farm equipment collisions claims often spike between March and June, with over 180 claims reported during that window last year. Experts warn that a car traveling at 55 miles per hour takes only 5 seconds to cover the length of a football field, often the exact amount of time it takes for a driver to realize they are closing in on a slow-moving tractor. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 18 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Cooler days have hit central Illinois, and it looks like they might stick around for a little while. Ed Shimon with the National Weather Service in Lincoln explains that outlooks are showing a cooler than normal start to the month of May. He adds that we can expect less than average precipitation for the month as well.
Sure, yeah, the outlooks are showing for a cooler than normal start to the month. We've got this high pressure coming in out of Canada, and it looks like it's going to kind of stick around for a little bit. The outlook for May 2nd through the 6th has below normal temperatures in the 50 to 60th percentile, tipping the balance toward below normal temperatures. And below normal precip is also bullseyed across Illinois. 40 to 50th percentile probability towards drier than normal. So, and as we look even a little further into May, that below normal temperature all the way through May 10th,
wow,
solidly in place. And same thing with below normal precipitation. So the first half of May looks cool and dry. I don't know if that's as great for germinating seeds. I know, they'd like warm nights for those seeds to really continue to get growing overnight.
The back half of May is showing similar below average temperatures. However, Shimon says that precipitation should shift back towards normal. He notes that average temperatures for May are typically very comfortable, so they do not expect slightly below normal lows to cause any overnight freezes.
The 3 to 4 week outlook takes us through May 22nd, and that's no change below normal. That's in the 40th to 50th percentile temperature below normal. But then we tip back towards above normal precipitation in that second to third week of May. So, not too bad, really. It's no heat waves, but I don't expect we're going to get any freezes. But as far as farmers go, they probably would prefer those nights to be in the mid to upper 50s. Anything above 55, I think, is part of the growing degree day calculation. So if we get days averaging above 55 between the highs and lows, that's really positive for them getting growing going. We probably wouldn't end up above normal precip if the first 2 weeks really end up being below normal like it's showing. And then a little bit of rain at the end of the month so we don't go into drought. So that's kind of nice, so it'll keep things balanced pretty well, I think. The temps may end up below normal for the whole month, but average temperatures in May are pretty comfortable. So even a little bit below normal is not bad. Our highs start out at 70 for an average high and end at 80 for the average high. So, a little below normal is in the 60s, and that's certainly nothing to be too upset about.
While March is the most impactful month when it comes to daylight, Shimon indicates that we will gain about an hour of sun from the start of the month to the end.
Yeah, I think we add on just about 1 more hour to the sunlight from the sunrise, sunset couplet from the first of the month, start of the month to the end. March is your big swing right at that. The sun is doing a transition, and as you start to get closer and closer to June, it's less and less add on. But it's still nice. We're going to have sun twilight, in the evenings, probably starting to creep towards the 8:30, 8:45 hour before we get towards the end of the month, maybe even 9. You'll have some twilight out there.
The summer outlooks are showing equal chances of above or below normal precipitation and temperatures, but Shimon indicates that heat waves may push in periodically from the western half of the country.
Yeah, we've got the June, July, August outlooks, which is climatological summer, June, July, August, and it's showing equal chances for above or below normal temperatures. But there's a really big kind of a heat wave signal out there for the intermountain west and the Pacific Southwest too. So there'll be some warm air that might surge in periodically, but in terms of long-term widespread heat wave in Illinois, it's not looking like. Precipitation wise, same thing there. Above or below normal is equal chances. Nearby to the west, below normal. So like Nebraska to Texas is also below normal precip. So that's kind of saying our storm tracks are going to kind of be coming out of Canadian flows. But we may have a little bit of high pressure blocking us periodically throughout the summer. So we may start to see our soil moistures, go down a little bit again. But we'll have to keep an eye on that pretty close.
The National Weather Service has been teaming up with the University of Illinois Extension to provide better warnings of dust storms or other weather events that are caused by or affect agriculture. We'll have more on that with Shimon in the days ahead from the Hart Media Group. For the third year in a row, Illinois has surpassed 100 tornadoes. Illinois state climatologist Trent Ford has been tracking the numbers. Only Texas has had more tornadoes than Illinois this year. The recent groundbreaking of our nation's first sterile fly production facility is the latest step in USDA led efforts to prevent New World screwworm, a threat to U.S. livestock and animal populations, from entering our country. And it provided the Agriculture Secretary opportunity to discuss progress on aspects of USDA's five-pronged plan to keep this pest out. Rod Bain presents the Secretary's progress update in this edition of Agriculture USA. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all free, all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news is now.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The long partial government shutdown is over. For more than 70 days, congressional Democrats would not fund immigration enforcement. Republicans used a procedure called budget reconciliation to get the job done. While gas prices continue to soar, President Trump says once the Iran war has wrapped up, they will come down quickly. The president says despite its bluster, the Islamic Republic is anxious for a deal to end the conflict. Today's national average for regular gas, AAA, says it's $4.39 per gallon. An accused would-be presidential assassin is not going anywhere. Cole Allen will remain jailed, at least for now, the result of a court hearing held in Washington yesterday. Watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures are up 130 points. NASDAQ futures 39 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Monticello scored 5 runs in the first inning, and the Sages beat Rantoul 9-4 in Illini Prairie Conference high school baseball action on Thursday in Rantoul. Grant Kiger's first of 2 triples plated 2 runs in the first inning. Jax Bailey drove in 3 runs for the Sages offense. Zeke Young and Dawson Gatros combined for 8 walks and 8 strikeouts, as it was Gatros getting the win in relief of Young for Monticello on Thursday. The Sages rebounded from being shut down by St. Joseph Ogden on Wednesday to move to 22-1 overall. They go to 7-1 in the Illini Prairie Conference. Monticello visits Mount Zion on Friday. Lincoln overcame an 8-0 deficit and beat Bloomington 11-8 in non-conference high school baseball action from Lincoln on Thursday. The Purple Raiders looked to be rolling after a 7-run second inning to go up 8-0, but the Railers chipped away. Ashton Lucas scored 2 with a single in the bottom of the second inning to cut the Bloomington lead to 8-3. Carson Komnick, Lucas, and Gage Rutledge hit back-to-back-to-back run-scoring singles in the bottom of the third inning to tie the game at 8-8. Rutledge hit a sac fly in the 5th inning to put the Rail Splitters in front 9-8. Komnick added a 2-run single in the 6th to make it the final 11-8 margin. Lucas was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a stolen base to lead Lincoln. Komnick was 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Lincoln goes to 14-7 overall. They host Metamora on Friday. Braden Leish struck out 14 across 6 shutout innings, leading Heyworth to a 10-0 win over Delavan in non-conference high school baseball action on Thursday in Heyworth. Leish allowed 3 hits, hit 2 batters, and did not issue a walk in the win. He also finished 3 for 4 with a double and 3 RBIs. Lucas Bartles and Jeffrey Clawwitter drove in 2 runs apiece for the Hornets. Bartles and Carter Brooks hit triples, while Braxton Denning added a double. Heyworth is 7-10-2 overall. They host Fieldcrest in Heart of Illinois Conference action on Friday. Josh Jones struck out 15 across 6 innings of 1-run ball, leading Normal Community to a 7-1 win over crosstown rival Normal West on Thursday in Big 12 Conference high school baseball action at Normal West High School. Jones allowed 2 hits and permitted 2 walks. Kyle Glass struck out the side in a scoreless inning of relief. Max Heineman was 1 for 4 with an RBI double to lead the Ironmen. Gavin Swartz, Lucas Beatty, Andrew Nauer, and Jacob Angel drove in runs in the balanced offensive attack for Normal Community. Normal West drops to 13-9 overall and 6-4 in the Big 12 Conference. They travel to Peoria High School for a twin bill on Monday. Normal Community goes to 18-2 overall and 9-1 in the Big 12 Conference. They host Peoria Richwoods for a Big 12 Conference tilt on Friday. J.J. Weatherholt led off with a home run against Pirates ace Paul Skeens, and the St. Louis Cardinals finished off a 4-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 10-5 win on Thursday. Skeens is 4-2 and fell to 0-5 against the Cardinals after allowing 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. The reigning NL Cy Young Award winner's brilliant April finished with a rare dud as Pittsburgh's losing streak hit 5. The 23-year-old has been masterful after a shaky performance on opening day, allowing only 3 runs over his last 5 starts. The Cardinals matched that in the first inning alone. Weatherholt, who grew up in the Pittsburgh suburbs, sent a cutter into the right field seats 3 pitches into the game. Jordan Walker followed 3 batters later by turning on a sweeper that scraped over the left field wall, marking just the second time in Skeens' 62 big league starts that he surrendered multiple homers in the same inning. Alec Burleson finished with 3 hits and drove in 3 runs for the Cardinals. Weatherholt, Walker, Nolan Gorman, and Pedro Pajes had 2 hits each. Nathan Church added a 2-run double during a 5-run 8th to give the Cardinals some breathing room after the Pirates had cut a 4-run deficit to 1. Gordon Graceffo is 2-0 and 1 in relief of starter Hunter Dobbins, who didn't make it out of the 5th inning in his first major league start since tearing the ACL in his right knee last summer while playing for Boston. Dobbins was acquired in December's trade that sent Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox. Brian Reynolds had 2 hits and drove in 3 runs for the Pirates. Brandon Lowe hit his 8th homer for Pittsburgh, which played sloppy defense behind Skeens to head into May with its promising start to the season in danger of slipping away. The Cardinals return home to welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers over the weekend. The Pirates host NL Central rival Cincinnati to start a 3-game weekend series on Friday. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Detroit Tigers beat the Atlanta Braves 5-2, while the Baltimore Orioles took down the Houston Astros 10-3. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Francisco Giants 3-2, while the Cincinnati Reds beat the Colorado Rockies 6-4. The Washington Nationals beat the New York Mets 5-4, while the Milwaukee Brewers routed the Arizona Diamondbacks 13-1. The Athletics beat the Kansas City Royals 6-3, while in the second of a doubleheader, the Houston Astros beat the Baltimore Orioles 11-5. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Francisco Giants for a second time, 6-5 in 10 innings, while the Minnesota Twins beat the Toronto Blue Jays 7-1. In NBA postseason scores from yesterday, the third-seeded New York Knicks routed the sixth-seeded Atlanta Hawks 140 to just 89, while the seventh-seeded Philadelphia 76ers beat the two-seeded Boston Celtics 106 to 93, and the sixth-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves beat the third-seeded Denver Nuggets 110 to 98. In NHL postseason scores from yesterday, the Minnesota Wild beat the Dallas Stars 5-2, while the Anaheim Ducks beat the Edmonton Oilers with the same score, 5-2. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device. Best of all free, all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Slight chance of rain showers today, otherwise mainly sunny skies. High temperatures reach up to 57. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight chance of rain showers. Lows dip down to about 39. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently 43.
Let's check Ag News on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Delos Yonke. The big story yesterday was the U.S. House passing its version of the Farm Bill, but also included in that story there's still differences within the GOP, enforcing a delay in taking up year-round E15 legislation. Another setback in an effort for more stability, as our Washington correspondent Matt Kay reports.
The E15 fight overshadowed Farm Bill action as oil patch Republicans split with Ag Republicans over changes to small refinery exemptions, a spat that almost torpedoed the Farm Bill. Top Ag Democrat Angie Craig, an E15 supporter, on the GOP move to delay a year-round E15 vote until May 13th.
I personally witnessed both sides saying that they had a gentleman's agreement to bring E15 to the floor and not to bring E15 to the floor. And I would just caution my colleagues on the other side of the aisle who believe that there is a deal to get E15 to the floor, that there are some antics and tricks related to going back to the Rules Committee that folks may be planning.
A scenario that could allow GOP E15 opponents to water down year-round sales legislation while delaying sending the Farm Bill to the Senate. That after they nearly prevented the House from taking up the Farm